he gonna get caught. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet?
Boxing insiders are urging Jake Paul to think twice before stepping into the ring with Gervonta Davis. Fresh training clips show Davis firing with lightning speed and ruthless power. Experts warn that staging a fight with such a massive size gap isn't just risky, it could damage boxing's image. They insist Paul must treat Davis as more than a YouTube rival. Davis is a proven explosive fighter. Analysts point out that the footage proves Davis isn't only fast and slick, but also technically sharp, capable of trapping opponents and punishing any lapse in focus.
It sounded like Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumors of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
Promoter Eddie Hearn has delivered one of the strongest warnings yet. He told Paul straight up, "Be careful what you wish for." Hearn says this isn't just a mismatch. It's a potentially dangerous one. Yes, the bout could rake in money and views, but Hearn's verdict is blunt. Paul is far more at stake than his undefeated record. In Hearn's eyes, his very health is on the line.
For Jake Paul, I got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think that's the only reason we're going to see this fight. But I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of 2026.
MMA legend Daniel Cormier also weighed in on Paul's decision. He acknowledged Paul's rise as a promoter, admitting, "I respect Jake Paul today." He praised Paul's growth to the point Netflix repeatedly partners with him. But Cormier highlighted the obvious. Davis is a better boxer, yet the size gap is extreme. Davis's last weigh-in was around 133 pounds, while Paul pushes nearly 200. DC warned that if Davis pulls off the upset, it could derail Paul's entire run. On the flip side, Davis risks humiliation if he loses to a much bigger man.
Is a legend? Guys, anything can happen. When a kid that was on YouTube and on Disney walked in there and said, I'm going to be a professional boxer, Jake Paul needs to be commended for that. He had a vision, and he honestly executed that vision better than anyone ever could have expected. But sometimes you want something so badly that you don't recognize the dangers that come with wanting that thing and then getting that thing. Now Jake Paul has gotten himself to a point where he's fighting someone that could truly, truly end his career. Mike Tyson. We're talking about one of the scariest, most dangerous fighters to ever step foot in the squared circle. For me, it's pretty simple. Jake Paul, in the Mike Perry fight, he got a great appetizer for what he will get in the main event. A fighter that starts very fast, that throws things to take your head off, and you have to kind of match the intensity to ultimately get your shots off. Jake Paul today announced that he has signed with the PFL.
The PFL.
A couple weeks ago, Jake Paul and I were messaging each other about an appearance on my show, DC and RC. Just kind of talking about his future. And honestly, Jake and I have had some run-ins. When I started talking to him and I'm messaging him, he's a kid that's very respectful. And we had respectful conversations. He has an idea what he wants to do. Now, these kids today are different, right? So he's very boisterous, he's very verbal, he speaks big. But will Jake Paul actually fight in the PFL? A lot of boxers say they're going to fight, but they never actually do. Here's the thing about Jake Paul, though. He's from Ohio. Ohio has some of the best high school wrestling. Jake Paul was a high school wrestler there. So was his brother Logan. They weren't bad. I believe this one, he'll actually fight.
Former world champ Carl Froch echoed those concerns, pointing to the staggering 65-pound gap. Paul fights near 200, while Davis competes at 135. Froch said Davis's skill is undeniable, but he's never been hit by someone Paul's size and raw strength. That, he warns, could be dangerous. For Froch, this isn't about competition. It's a circus act. He says fans and fighters alike are uneasy, questioning the fight's legitimacy and safety.
His press conference, and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proves time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Ryan Garcia didn't hold back either. He blasted the fight as completely insane, arguing that boxing is losing its credibility with WWE-style spectacles. Garcia says these matchups make fans take the sport less seriously, damaging its reputation. In his own words, boxing is officially the WWE.
The boxing world, and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them. You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Amir Khan joined the chorus, calling the fight disgusting. He highlighted the weight gap. Paul at 200 versus Davis at 135, and the 8-inch height difference. Khan believes no professional commission should sanction such a mismatch. He warned of serious injury and applauded promoter Turki Alashik for steering clear of YouTube-style gimmicks.
on a guy who's obviously a lot heavier than him, but in an exhibition fight. What are your thoughts on this fight?
A really bad mismatch. And you know what? Whoever the promoter is and that's agreed Gervonta to fight, and whoever the promoter is to fight for Jake Paul to say fight this little man. I mean, that's wrong, man. I mean, that's just like torturing someone. I mean, going in there and hurting someone is just not fair on Davis. But like, say you don't know what position Davis is in. I heard that he's been having a lot of legal problems and been arrested a couple of times for a couple of felonies and stuff. I've seen with his ex-wife and stuff. So you know what? You don't know what's going through his head. Maybe he just wants to cash up and walk away from the sport. And maybe this is a great opportunity for him where he's seen this fight come up and he's like, fuck it, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they're making boxing a joke, really.
Yeah.
One day someone's going to end up getting hurt so badly, then it's going to definitely destroy the sport.
Michael Bisping came out swinging too, branding Paul a bully. He pointed to the 60-pound gap and 7-inch height advantage Paul will hold even over someone like Canelo Alvarez. Bisping accused Paul of cherry-picking undersized opponents, calling him embarrassing. He said Paul's career isn't about merit. It's about spectacle, and pretending otherwise is pure bully boy tactics.
Fight the best people on the planet, and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully. It's like, dude, what are you doing? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real.
Bisping has long argued that Jake Paul handpicked smaller or less skilled fighters. He says those choices make for lopsided, disappointing spectacles. In his view, Paul is more businessman than boxer, targeting aging legends instead of testing himself against real threats. KSI piled on too, blasting Paul's fight with Gervonta Davis as a disgrace. He claimed Paul is ducking him, avoiding a true challenge and instead chasing softer fights.
Not feeling the rematch clause and just fighting Jake Paul and that whole situation and reaction of the fight itself.
I feel people I don't know, people got issues because at 200 million mandatory or either go fight for 5 million. It's a no-brainer. Like, what's wrong with people? It's a no-brainer.
A hard fight. A hard fight.
And we prize fighters. They prize fighters.
Right.
And the prize is big. And he's going to retire soon. So you got 200 million right here and you're about to retire soon or either a $5 million fight.
Wait a minute. Kid said he disagreed. Why did he disagree?
I think it's just from a fighter standpoint. And on top of that, he got to draw. It's not like you won. Like you won and you going to go fight Jake Paul. You got to draw, man. You got to go get that back.
Why? It was a cherry pick.
I mean, yeah, it was a cherry pick and you didn't
So
look
hold
good.
on.
So you got to.
I mean, look, with Jake, the guy's been ducking me or running away from me for so long, man. Like, he's just making excuse after excuse. And now he wants to fight Tank. I mean, it just says the type of guy Jake Paul is. He only fights someone if he has a major advantage. Anything that's close, or anything that could actually be a decent fight, he runs away from it. So,
Heavyweight Dave Allen, the White Rhino, went in hard. He called the Paul versus Davis bout a farce, saying exhibition should be for retired fighters, not prime stars. He argued Davis should be chasing a rematch with Lamont Roach, while Paul should be fighting a legit cruiserweight. Instead, Allen says, both men are cashing in on spectacle over sport, and he admits he won't bother watching what he considers a circus act.
Been punched by a rhinoceros as he yet, so we'll have to see.
He's training this fight, but fighting against real bears. This is true. People are going, no chance, no chance. Do you reckon this guy, could he be the toughest of your opponents so far, do you reckon?
I don't think he's the best that I've faced. I've faced a few Olympic medalists, a few world title challengers, but I think he's probably the most dangerous. Maybe not the best boxer, he might not be the most technical, but he hits really hard, he's really big and strong. So yeah, I think it's the most dangerous task I've faced, but he may be not the best fighter I've been in with.
Whereabouts is the fight, Dave? Where are you fighting him?
He's still at Sheffield Arena,
right?
Headlining in Sheffield, which is like my local arena. So yeah, it's a big night for me.
He won his last fight, didn't he, Dave, against Ricardo Brown, and 20 wins, 19 KOs he's got. So like you says, he is dangerous. How's the training gone for you ahead of this fight?
Yeah, it's been good. He's put a bit of fear in me, to be honest. I have had a bit of genuine fear. I've been stopped, but I've never been on the canvas ever as a pro or amateur. So, and I'd like to keep it that way, really. Yep. I'm not on anyone's highlight reel. You see highlight reels, all the fighters I face. I'm not on any of them, and I'd like to keep it that way. So yeah, training has gone up a notch. For the Fisher rematch, I did weigh a little bit heavy. So for this one, if I cut any corners, there's a good chance I'll get beaten.
Some critics say Gervonta Davis taking on a social media giant this much bigger is nothing short of a historic duck. They claim he's dodging real rivals for an easy payday. Instead of legacy fights, he's chasing spectacle. To them, it looks like cash over competition. Boxing is entertainment, not sport. The glaring size gap, the hype, the spectacle. It's everything old-school boxing fans hate, and many fear it pushes the sport further from its roots.
Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul have a fight coming up. I ain't even gonna call it a fight, because it ain't. If Jake Paul's involved in it, it's a great acting job. You know Mike Tyson could have just knocked Jake Paul's face into the canvas, but he got paid to pull punches, otherwise he wouldn't have got paid. Pretty sure the same is going for Gervonta Davis. It's a quick money grab. Yeah, most of y'all gonna be suckers who tune in. It's just quick money grab. That's all I'm saying. Ain't gonna be no fight. I don't give a fuck how big Jake Paul is. He can't take one of them little mother tank punches. Yeah, tank move furniture. Move furniture. Catch that motherfucking move furniture. And Jake don't like his furniture move, so he gonna pay him not to hit him again. If you really want to show out Gervonta, sign a contract that you ain't gonna hit him, because if you hit him, you lose all the money. And then whoop that motherfucker's ass, put him to sleep, and get him out the boxing game once and for all.
Others go even further, saying boxing itself is dying. They argue celebrity-driven fights and circus matchups have replaced real competition. Instead of showcasing world-class talent, the sport now sells entertainment first. In their eyes, the true essence of boxing, skill, heart, and fair competition, is fading.
Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Chilaquiles.
Musty energy.
Oh, it's musty, and I say that respectfully. Per Mike Hoppinger in the Ring magazine, Gervonta Tank Davis, freshly off his domestic violence charges being dropped, will get into the ring with Jake Paul in Atlanta with a proposed date of November 15th. Lord child. Get your hand out of my pocket! Tank weighs about 135. Jake Paul weighs about 200-something pounds. So obviously this will be at a catch weight, and this possibly will not be a sanctioned fight where it will count on anybody's records. But I'm going to tell y'all like this. Tank fans, you niggas down bad.
The hatred. Musty energy.
You niggas is down bad.
But what do you think? Should Jake Paul step up and face someone closer to his size and ability to prove himself once and for all? Or is this just what boxing has become today? Drop your thoughts in the comments.